let's transition to our last team of the evening here, and it is Headley's team, the Florida
No,
State
let's not.
Seminoles.
Let's not. Let's
Well,
You want to
not.
talk
that's
about
what
him?
we're gonna do.
No,
We're gonna do it. We're gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna bite the bullet and talk about them because we're professionals, right? We don't always come off as professionals, but we are professionals, right? So we're gonna set aside. Drew and I are gonna set aside our discuss of the Seminoles to focus on these prospects.
Yuck.
To
Disgust.
focus on these prospects, man, and we have to start right at the top. Right at the top, the top guy here in Tallahassee is Jared Verse, man. Transfer from Albany. He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. Watching the games throughout the 2022 season, you could see that it was just different with him. It was just different. You know what I mean? And you could see what he meant to Florida State. They were a different team when he was on the field. Even when he was injured and he was playing sparingly, just on passing downs, when he was in the game, he consistently made an impact. So, Headley, let's talk about Jared Verse.
Yeah, like you said, man, I thought the tape, he was hurt last season. You know, he played through those injuries. He came in, he gave all he could have, but when he came on the field, like you said, he was effective. So I just want to see a full, healthy season from Jared Verse because he came on the scene strong. I didn't know much about him transferred from Albany. Once that LSU game came on, I was like, who is number 5? Like this number 5, man, he's all over the place. He turns speed and power effectively, top-notch closing ability. His first step, he's that twitchy type of edge, could bend the corner. I think he utilized his hands really. There goes the LSU game right here. This was the game where he introduced himself to America. He steps up in big moments. He's a knack to turn it up when it matters the most. The injury probably played a lot to do with it, but it was some plays sometimes, I want to see more dog out of him. The consistent dog, because he has the dog. You see it right, at LSU say. But I think the injury kind of slowed him down a little bit where he's like, I'm not going to chase that play down on the backside. So I think he could improve his strength against the run game. I think that's the biggest thing for him is just to improve that. I think he needs more reps in D1 to prove himself some more. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, teams are looking for pass rushers, guys that can get the quarterback, and Jared Verse fits the bill. In last year's class, I think I had him at edge 3. So he's going to be at the top of the class this year. I think him and J2 Tuamola, one of those two guys, and, it's always other guys that come on late as well. So, we'll be looking at, but Verse is one of those guys that's a top 3 edge coming up in this year's class.
Yeah, man, I got violent player, violent hands, violent downhill burst with bad intentions. If you hesitate or if you half step, as a tackle, he's going to beat you. You saw that in the LSU game over and over. By the way, them two guys, I think those were true freshman tackles. Those guys are supposed to be superstars at some point in their career. So, it was that was a welcome to college football for them. Right here it says the same speed and violence. He plays with that every play, bro. Almost to the point where I'm like, bro, I don't know if you can keep this pace up. Like, it's crazy, bro. And it may be due to the injury. Because there were some plays I'm like, there's no way he shouldn't have been able to make that play, right? I'm thinking, where's my Will Anderson in terms of my tackle radius, right? And he just couldn't do it. So that could be part injury, or that could be part like, yo, I'm kind of tired out here, right? Because I'm coming hard, fast, and high motor every play, man. Like, it's just, he's a fun one
right there. Yeah,
you got to run
Bergeron.
Come on, look at Bergeron.
Bergeron, second round pick, man. So he's doing that to him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's still raw. The thing about Verse that's scary is he was a high school tight end. He hardly played defense in high school. He transferred to defensive side of football at Albany, and he's still learning the game. So once that instinct even improves a little more, the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, that hand usage that you see against Bergeron in particular, that's advanced, man. It's just hard to. It's hard to fathom that, he hasn't been playing the position all that long and to already be that advanced in terms of his hand usage. And then, of course, like when you put it all together in terms of the flexibility to bend the edge, the power, the speed to power, the go inside, outside, to go right through the tackle's chest, he's impressive, bro. He can be a game changer for a organization, right? When you talk about guys like, Thibodeau, Oregon, Aiden Hutchinson, whatever, he can be in that class. He can be the definitive pass rusher for an NFL team. He's incredibly talented, and I'm looking forward to see whether or not it was all right. He snuck up on you, I don't think this is the case. I don't actually believe this is the case. But I'm wondering what the counterpunch is going to be. I'm wondering what teams are going to do, knowing and understanding that Jared Verse is a problem. One-on-one, he is a problem. A 60, 70% healthy Jared Verse is still a problem, as evidenced based on what he did on passing downs when he was nursing that injury, right?
Mhm.
So what do you do defensively? Are you going to chip him? Are you what are you going to do? And once that happens, what is his counterpunch? That's what I'm most interested in seeing from Jared Verse in 2023. All right, Heavy. I mean, they are your Seminoles. Where do you want to go next?
We go on the offensive side of the ball. They got the triplets over there. I know Drew's going to talk about. You like that? Look, I see your face. I said the triplets, but
no, I don't. I was confused because I didn't know what the hell you was talking about. But go ahead.
Travis Benson, and I'll talk about Jim Wilson, the 6'7" wide receiver. He's the top guy on the offensive pass catchers. Long stride wide receiver. He can get behind defenders, stack those defenders. He could go up and get it, but I think the improvement is to win those contested catches a little more. He's a little finesse with his high point ability. He uses his frame as a blocker. And like a lot of big receivers, you just got to do a better job of creating separation in your route running. But one thing I do like about him is his release package. His release package is really nice. I think once he adds that nuance to his route running, I think he could be a better prospect. He has good ball skills. He can adjust to the football. Some wiggle and break tackle ability after the catch as well. And 6'7", you can't teach 6'7", man. You know, he's a giant out there. So, you know, analysts have him more of a day two guy right now. Day one, I don't see those special characteristics to say he's day one, but he could work his way up there, man, with a big 2023 season.
Let me ask you if he was because his biggest problem to me is that he that big and you can't make them contested catches. That to me, that's a problem. But he does use his size well, like you said. If he's able to make all catches, let's say he has 2 drops, bro. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they were concentration drops, and he's dominant like we think a 6'7", 240-pound receiver could be. You think slips into the first round, or his combine might be the question. I don't really care about his combine because when you watch him on tape,
he get behind defenders. Yeah, I think he could sneak up in the first round. You know, if he improves that, man.
Right.
We've seen the guy, Florida.
I wonder if he's just gonna you know what I'm saying, glide his way in behind defenders at the next level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you cannot teach the size that he has, right? And in those contested situations, you want him to be that 80-20. You want it to be an 80-20 situation with a guy that big, but I have to give Mike Norvell some credit. I have to give the Florida State offense some credit. And I think Johnny Wilson, he has some sneaky long speed to him. Getting into the first round, though, it's gonna require, I think, a little bit more. I think it's gonna require a little bit more because the name of the game is not just being necessarily bigger than the next guy. It's being a superior athlete. You understand what I'm saying? You know, especially in this game where the passing game itself is more inside out than ever. You understand what I mean? It just doesn't have the same. It don't carry the same weight. Just because you're taller than everybody else doesn't necessarily carry the same weight. This is the type of player. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but you know, certain NFL organizations will view him in a particular way if he doesn't check certain boxes. So I think the way he tests is going to be very important. Otherwise, they're going to try to move him to tight end, and he's not a tight end. You understand what I'm saying? Like teams are going to do silliness like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he tests. I think we're going to see more of the same from Johnny Wilson in 2023. I don't expect, you know, market improvements unless he's really, you know, working on the finer things and getting in and out of those breaks and showing that short area quickness. He's a bigger guy. It doesn't come natural to most bigger guys. Drew, you want to talk about Jordan Travis?
I know. I think D Kit want to talk about Jordan Travis with this comment, bro.
Heisman candidate.
Come on, man. He's a quarterback.
Candidate.
So I get it, man. Whoa, Wilson's a 4.4 guy. Hey, man, you got to show me that. He got to show me that.
I think he has some good build-up speed.
He had a long stride. He's a long strider.
Long strider.
Yeah, he's got good build-up speed. But I think
how about a guy like A.T. Perry, man? He's one of those long striders. Okay. He doesn't play for his size. A.T. Perry is a better route runner than Johnny Wilson.
Oh, definitely.
But it's kind of the same kind of thing where you're bigger, but your release package and your route running stands out more than you know, winning those contested catches. So And ATP was what was it day 3? Did you go day 3?
Yeah, he went to day 3. He went
Day
late.
3.
He went
So-
much later than we anticipated.
Yeah.
Should have went to the Senior Bowl, player. I'm just playing.
But I mean, I think it's a good point though. It's a cautionary tale though, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, A.T. Perry, one of those long striders that we thought was going to go earlier. I don't know that I'm head over heels more in favor of Johnny Wilson over A.T. Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
there may have been a medical situation there with A.T. Perry because he shouldn't have gone that late. But
Right.
I track speed and football speed are two different things, right? And like I said, assuming, and I have no reason to doubt D-Kick here, if he's a 4.4 guy, he doesn't always play at 4.4 speed. I think that is what's significant. And I think that's what is going to put more emphasis in terms of NFL teams as far as his testing is concerned, his athletic testing, is to replicate that when it comes to Indianapolis, right, during the combine. But I can't stress this enough. I think the best receivers in the NFL, with a couple exceptions here or there, and maybe Johnny Wilson is one of those exceptions, right, is their suddenness, the ability to get open quickly. Release package, having a good release package obviously is a good start to that. But getting in and out of those breaks, dropping those hips, I think that makes a difference, man. I really do. I really do. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he's worked on those finer areas or whether or not we see more of the same. Either way, I think there's obviously areas of the field where he can be very effective. And when I mention some of those exceptions, guys like Mike Evans comes to mind. You know what I mean? Guys who aren't necessarily all that southern, taller, long striders who can stack defensive backs. If Johnny Wilson is that particular type of player, then certainly I can understand that. But I haven't seen that consistently enough from him to put him in that rarefied area. So let's get into Jordan Travis. Here, Drew.
Yeah, to speak to DK's point, I don't know if he was joking or not, but there's a possibility that Jordan Travis could be a Heisman candidate and could push for it really hard because FSU has added weapons for this team, and they continue to add weapons. Norvell is doing his thing in terms of the transfer portal, and FSU is on the rise as far as I'm concerned. So, but in terms of Jordan Travis, this is a guy who, when first coming out, bro, he like deer in the headlights at times, bro. And at times he looked like he was the best thing on the field. And it was just kind of like, what am I getting? Right. And I thought he was a guy who would early on would hold on to the football early in his career. He wanted the guys to be wide open. If it wasn't there, he would take off. Now I think he's complete opposite. I think he's a guy who's willing to throw it up, give his guy a chance, willing to thread the needle. I mean, I got my notes. He's a slippery SOB, bro. I got 3 guys like that. I got Caleb Williams, I got Jaden Daniels, and I have Jordan Travis, and they all do it differently in terms of how defenders can't tackle them. I think Caleb Williams is doing it more like he's kind of a running back. He's a bigger guy. I think people don't realize how big he is until they have to tackle him. I think Jaden Daniels is just fast, bro. You just can't get him, bro. It's too much. And then Jordan Travis, dude, just slippery, bro. He just wet bar soap out there. Just can't take him down for whatever reason, man. But he goes through his progressions. He's willing to give it. He's usually knowing where he's going with the football, which is big for me in terms of what they do over there. And he's an athlete, bro. He can run. He's, that's that new age quarterback, man. So I think he's on the uptick. I think he's going to be a 6-year senior, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's got a lot of experience. He's been in college for a minute. But we always talk about, if you're going to be in college, as long as you're going to be in, as long as you keep just climbing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's what he's done. And this might be the best team he's had since he's been at FSU. So it's showtime, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, the onus is on Jordan Travis. And like you said, I agree. When initially they rolled him out there to start, I was like, oof, I like this guy. Being a UM fan, I like Jordan Travis. and then you start to see the improvements and the confidence growing, not unlike Bo Nix. You understand what I'm saying? The thing that really stands out to me about Jordan Travis, on top of all of the development and the palpable confidence that he's playing with now, right, is the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Like, Jordan Travis don't give up on plays, man.
No.
And now he's doing a better job of protecting the football. So it's scary. It's scary that everything is kind of coming together, right, for this team. Like, he has the best supporting cast he's had. They've actually have a competent offensive line. They had struggled with that for years, going back to Willie Taggart, even during Jimbo Fisher's time, there was some issues in terms of their offensive line. They've kind of, righted the ship to a certain degree. And then Travis, full command of the offense, doesn't appear that the coaches they trust him. They unequivocally trust him, and again, that confidence that they're breathing into him is showing up in his play. So yeah, Jordan Travis can certainly help himself, and he absolutely is in the conversation for Heisman. I don't think there's any debate there. FSU is expected to be in the college football playoff, to be competing for a college playoff slot here. So yeah, if he goes out there and acquits himself and continues to improve, still taking those incremental steps in improving his game, then he should be right in the thick of things when it all comes down to it.
Haley, before you go real quick, not to give FSU any more praise than I already have, but Jordan Travis kind of reminds me of Bryce Young when you talk about the ice in the veins and just his ability to throw the football on the run, square up the shoulders, keep his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. Like, it's just he's a little bit bigger, a little bit more athletic, just not as polished as Bryce Young. So it'll be interesting to watch him this year, man. I'll be definitely keeping my eye on him. It's just unfortunate he's in this ridiculous class of quarterbacks that's coming out, man.
Yeah, but you could look at guys like last year, DTR, Stetson Bennett, where those guys improved every single year, all the way up to this senior year. Bo Nixon, another guy in that category where, when Jordan Travis first came on, he was like, he just doing the run around thing. He's not really knowing the offense. But as the years go by, the release got quicker, the anticipation got better, the IQ got smarter. So, if he catapults that, go to the Senior Bowl, show what he got there, that's a fourth, fifth round quarterback, he can end up in that similar kind of range. I think all those guys are very elusive, competitive, and they're just gamers, man. So, yeah, Jordan Travis this season, Heisman candidate. I wouldn't go that far, but, I think FSU has a pretty good team, and he's going to be leading them, man. And Trey Benson, the running back, the transfer from Oregon, this guy's a locomotive. He comes downhill fast. He's probably the most hard to tackle running back in this class, man. Every time you watch the tape, he's breaking 2, 3, 4 tackles. So, having Benson back there in the backfield and who's also athletic, I think the Seminoles with Mike Norvell, they're going to rush for a lot of yards this season on the ground.
For whatever reason, when I think about Jordan Travis, I think I kind of equate it to what we think Kellen Mond should have been, right? You know what I mean? That's for whatever reason that comes to mind. But again, it's the confidence, it's the competitive spirit that he has. And you mentioned the struggles that he had initially, and everything seemed to be a scramble drill, and it's because the game was moving too fast for him, right? It slowed down. Mm-hmm. Now you see him, like I said, in full control. There's no part of the offense that he isn't familiar with. Okay, that he has a certain level of control within the offense, and every single season they've improved the supporting cast around him, right? So as he makes plays, which he makes some on his own, of his own volition, now he has guys where he can just get the ball to the playmakers as well. He doesn't necessarily have to do too much, which can be problematic, especially with a young quarterback, right? That can stunt their growth when they're trying to make something happen. And of course, it doesn't turn out the way they had intended. It often turns out into, a 3-and-out or a sack, a turnover, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, the circumstances are perfect for Jordan Travis, and he deserves a lot of credit in terms of his development. And like you said, if he goes out there, plays well again, and then takes on the challenge of these off season, the showcases, the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Game, whatever the case may be, he can stamp his ticket, because I think he's more talented than Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett went fourth round. He's more talented than Stetson Bennett. There were a lot of quarterbacks taking this class here. Clayton Tune, your boy Adrian O'Connell. A lot of quarterbacks taken early to mid day 3. Right, I think Jordan Travis, again, with a strong season here, could find his way into the 3rd round, top 75 or so picks. You know what I mean? I think that's certainly within the cards for him. Yeah, man. A lot of praise for these Seminoles, man. It's turning my stomach a little bit.
Disgusting, bro.
It's turning my stomach, but no, it's a very, very talented roster. Very talented roster, and they are primed. They are primed to make a run at it. You know what I mean? I think they're probably the best team in the ACC. Clemson obviously is always very talented, but I give FSU the edge because of the experience that they have at quarterback,
Yeah, I'd
all the
agree.
returning players, the continuity that they have. So
I'd
it could
agree.
be a special season for them. It could be a very
Mhm.
special season for them. Um, that being said, before we wrap it up, before we call it a night, any other prospects, anybody that you want to, kind of circle back to, anybody else that we haven't talked about that you want to cover?
I'm looking at some of these transfers. You know, we didn't see him last year at Florida State. Jaheim Bell was a transfer, but they got a Braden Fiskey along the defensive line. Interesting to see that transfer, and Fentrell Cypress, a corner transfer that they got also. So I love their linebackers, man. Tatum and Deloche. I like both of them a lot. They all over the football field, could rush the quarterback.